Hello, my name is Joy Durham, and I am a part of the amazing team called Oilmazing Life, the group of essential oil educators who love to teach people about essential oils and how to use them properly. We focus on doTERRA essential oils because we love the oils, we love how pure they are, and we know that they're the highest quality oils that you can get on the market today. So today we're going to talk about how to manage your pain with oils using essential oils. And we like to call these little times that we like to sit down and talk about education our oil sesh. But let's get started with today's oil sesh. I always like to start with an agenda. So today's agenda, we'll do welcome, intros. We'll talk about why. We're talking about pain today. We're going to talk about what are essential oils, how do you use them? And inevitably, when I talk to people about essential oils and I explain to them how much they can help them and how effective they are, typically people ask me, well, how do I get the oils, Joy? And so I'll explain how you get the oils. I'll also have some gifts for you. I'll have for people who want to go ahead and get started with their oils. We'll have some fast action bonuses that can help you to be able to start using them quickly. And I always have a giveaway that if you watch this later and you respond, that you can be entered into the giveaway. As you can see, I like to get people started with oils and using their oils as quickly as possible. So I like to give them some gifts. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, I said my name is Joy Durham. I am a part of an amazing team of essential oil educators, but me personally, I like to teach under the name Joy's Oil Well, and we teach about essential oils, about juice fasting, about smoothies, and plant-based life. I'm a marketing professional. I was in marketing research or have been in marketing research for about 25 years. I'm a mother of 2 teenagers now, and I'm a wife. It'll be 20 years in June that we will have been married, and I do doTERRA. I just turned 47 in March, and I started using essential oils actually in 2016. I was on the hunt for frankincense. I had learned a lot about frankincense, and I was like, if it's that powerful, I really want something like that in my house and to have access to it for when I need it. And I actually put 2 drops under my tongue before I started this class. So yeah, I'm really all about frankincense. Anybody who knows me knows I call frankincense my boyfriend. But the very first oil that I used was peppermint, and I used it for digestive issues. And I love doTERRA because I know and I trust that it's pure plant medicine, and I'm confident when I'm giving it to any of my loved ones or my friends. And now my favorite oils are frankincense, of course, adaptive, which is a really good calming oil that I use for panic attacks and anxiety. Peppermint I still use for lots of things. Cardamom is awesome for breathing, and sandalwood is great for mood, but it's also a very calming oil as well and great for the skin. I love doTERRA because it's different. So I always like to set the stage when I do these classes because I want you to really have the right mindset. So everything's going to start with the right mindset. First thing I always ask is 2 questions. It's like, how much does it cost to be sick, or in this case today, in pain? And how much would you invest or give up to feel better and not to feel sick or in pain anymore? And so I want you to think about that because I don't want you to think, well, Joy is going to add a bunch of stuff to what I'm doing and you're trying to get me to spend all this money. And that's not the goal. The goal is to introduce you to some new things that may be new to you, maybe not, but introduce you to some things that are going to be natural and they're going to be a lot safer for your body, to replace some things that you may be using or doing that are not so good for your body, that may be actually causing more harm than good. And so I kind of call that more like a replacement healing kind of process that I want to help. Because remember, our body is fantastic at fixing things in it as long as we give it what it needs to do that. And plants are one of those things that is very instrumental in helping the body fix some things that may be going on. So what is pain? And so when you hear the term pain, typically you're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? It could be in different parts of the body. It could be, we have lots of issues going on, and all of it's going to be caused under the term pain. And so officially the term pain is called or described as an unpleasant sensory or emotional experience. Pain is what the patient says it is and exists when he or she says it does. And so that makes me think about, I've had 3 or 4 surgeries in my lifetime, and think about when I'm in the hospital and they want me to rate your pain on the smiley face meter. And so that makes me think. And so, it's what I say. If I say it's an 8 or a 9 in pain, or a 3 or a 4, it's basically whatever I say it is. And it's just an unpleasant sensory or emotional experience. Today, we're going to focus on sensory, which is more physical pain, and not so much the emotional. I have other classes that I teach that can help more with emotional health. So the current situation, and some of these numbers are a little bit dated, but they're still very effective in understanding the issues and what's going on and why there are so many people suffering, especially in the US. So there are 25.3 million American adults, and this is just adults, that suffer from pain daily. And there's 23.4 million of them report it being a lot of pain. So on that scale meter, it may be, closer to the 8, 9, or 10 ratings, or past that in terms of pain. And that's sad, because being in pain can really affect your quality of life. And that's something that, if we can have things that can help alleviate that, I want to get that in people's homes. So what are they turning to? They're turning to painkillers and over-the-counter meds. And so we already know that there's somewhat of an epidemic going on, where people have turned to other things, prescriptions and over-the-counter things, and they're getting addicted to them. And that's something that we don't want to happen anymore. And so that's one of the reasons why I do these classes, is to offer natural things that can go with more natural things, like, seeing a chiropractor or getting massage, using essential oils, things that are going to help the body move along and fix some of the things and get you out of that pain. So what are the top 3 types of discomforts that people experience? Obviously, head. If anyone says, you have a headache or you have pain, that usually comes to mind. Everybody pretty much knows what it's like to have a headache, but some people get even more severe head discomfort, and they might experience migraines. Also, back's another big one that a lot of people experience. We put a lot of pressure on our back. Lots of times we don't properly lift things, or we're out of shape. And so that can cause a lot of issues sometimes with the back. And the other one's neck tension. And a lot of that comes, especially nowadays, where we're at a computer and working, all the time. You'll get a lot of head or tension pain that way in your neck. And so that can affect a lot even more. I had a massage last weekend, and she was like feeling and found these knots. So I was like, how'd you find that? And she goes, yeah, that's a nice one. It's probably from working on the computer, but it wasn't just there. It was like further down my back and under my arms and stuff too. So it can lead to other discomforts as well. So, but let's talk about oils. How are oils going to help you with your aches and pains and discomforts? And so what are essential oils? So for me, the plain term that I think of when I think of oils is that they're just plant medicine. To me, this is what we turn to in my home and in many of my friends and family's home now that they've learned about them. We turn to them first for things to see what can help. I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm advocating not going to the doctor. When you have emergency situations, you most definitely should go to the doctor and go get things checked out. Actually, sometimes I'll go to the doctor and get things diagnosed. And if there's not life or death, I'll turn to my essential oils references and be like, okay, how can I work on this, naturally, instead of taking a prescription that leads to other things, which has happened to me in the past. And so I like using the plant medicine because it's safer, more effective, and less expensive than the traditional things we just mentioned, like the painkillers, prescription drugs, and over-the-counter medications. So the official definition of essential oils is that they're natural, highly concentrated compounds, and they're found in different parts of the plant. So it could be the roots, bark, seeds, flowers, or other parts of the plant. And so what you see there, that arrow that is pointing to right here, that is the essential oil in a peppermint leaf. And so I just love the little purple color, but it's very small. And so the way they get it out is they're going to distill it out, and then they're going to put it into those beautiful brown bottles, and they'll be ready for us to use. So why do they work though? Well, they are very complex. So what we know is that one drop, just one single drop of essential oil is the equivalent of 40 million trillion molecules. So there are enough molecules in a drop of essential oils to cover our bodies several thousand times over. And so that's why they work so well and so quickly in addition to that. And so that's why they're so effective, because they're very complex. And so going back to it being cost effective to use oils, because if one drop has so many molecules and so effective, you're really only using 1 or 2 drops at a time. And so a bottle, a larger 15 ml bottle, is going to have 250 drops in it. So that's going to be 125 to 250 uses in that bottle. So what happens is that using essential oils turns into being costing more like pennies per drop. And so that's how you understand it's really cost effective. Not to mention the time savings you have for not having to get appointments or going to the doctor, the waiting rooms. It's really going to save you in the long run. And so one thing I like to highlight sometimes in classes is, why did I choose doTERRA? Well, one of the things is that they pursue what's pure. And so that's really important. And so I just pulled a quick video that we had to talk a little bit more about the background of oils and essential oils and doTERRA. I'll watch right quick.
Essential oils are both exciting and promising when it comes to taking care of your own and your family's health. Whether you're applying essential oils topically, enjoying the aromatic benefits through diffusion, or taking essential oils internally, the positive healthful effects of essential oils are boundless. That's why you'll want to ensure that essential oils you are using are capable of delivering on their promise. You want to make sure that you are choosing essential oils for their potency and their purity. A lot goes into making sure that essential oils are both potent and pure. Potency starts with the plant itself. The same species of plant, when grown in different environments, will vary in composition. When plants are grown in optimal soil, temperature, and climate, they produce a higher quality essential oil, just as nature intended. But that's only half of the equation. Purity plays a major role as well. Many essential oils available to purchase are not certified pure. Often they contain synthetic fillers or other elements that dilute and alter the purity. This diminishes the healthful qualities of the oil. doTERRA is committed to providing the purest, most potent essential oils possible. We employ a global network of farmers who know intimately the process of growing plants for essential oils. They ensure the plant is taken care of properly and harvested at the proper stage. doTERRA has also perfectly melded modern advances in testing procedures to ensure the purity and efficacy of each essential oil. Every doTERRA essential oil is put through the highest standard of rigorous and thorough testing. This testing protocol, CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, sets the bar for quality, purity, efficacy, and consistency. When an essential oil is deemed worthy to be sold as a doTERRA essential oil, you'll know that it has the highest quantity of active, beneficial constituents and that it is free of contaminants and adulterations. Because at doTERRA, we know the same care and attention, as well as the same commitment to only provide the very best, is not unique to us. They're the same qualities you employ when taking care of those you love the most.
So that is just a really quick overview of how we source our oils, which is really important, where you get them, getting them where they grow naturally and native is very important. And also mention how you use the oils real quickly at the beginning. I don't know if you caught that. So 3 ways we use the essential oils is aromatic, which means that you use that they're in the air. So typically people get a diffuser, they will put the oils in there with some water, depending on what kind of diffuser you have, and then it will disperse it into the air. And so that, I love using them aromatically sometimes because it helps to refresh the air. It helps to get rid of icky stuff that may be in the air. Someone may be coughing or sneezing or not feeling well. It helps to cleanse the air, but also it's going to benefit everyone that's in the room. So everyone's in the room is going to be breathing in those awesomeness of the essential oils. And so that's why I like to use it aromatically. But even if you don't have a diffuser, there's other ways to use it aromatically. Like you saw them in the video, they put a drop in their hand, rub their hands together and breathe in the oils. That's another way to use them aromatically. Another way to use it is topically. So basically that means you just rub it on your person. And typically for when we're using oils to address pain or pain management, topical is one way that a lot of people will turn to first. And then use another way that you can use it. You see it has deep blue there. That's one of our top oils for pain. And so that's what we have. We'll talk about it in a little bit actually. And then also internally. So you can add most of the oils that doTERRA makes internally. So the way that you will know for sure if it's an internal oil is that it will have something called supplement facts on the label on the side of the oil. So if you see supplement facts, then you know that it's okay to use internally. So like peppermint is one that's okay to use internally, and it has supplement facts on it, and it just tells you the amount per serving. It tells you it's peppermint plant, there's nothing else in there, and that it is, and how much to use. I think it says for internal use, dilute 1 drop in 4 fluid ounces of liquid. So that's how you know you could use them internally. Most of them, like I said, you can. And now I'm talking only about doTERRA. There are a few of them that aren't recommended for internal use. And when you look and you don't see supplement facts, you'll know. So that's a long explanation right now that I just gave because I use them internally. I do add them to my smoothies, my juices. We cook with them. There are some recipes, I think last week and the weekend before, I made some guacamole and I added some lime oil, not a lot. Like remember, 1 drop is very potent, but I added it and it adds flavor. And for some people, like, oh, you take it internally? I'm like, yes, but probably a little more than 100 years ago or so, essential oils were used for flavoring. That's what the people use to flavor things with. So this isn't a new concept. This is just a rediscovering something that we've used in the past and got away from, and we started using chemicals to replace the oils, which we already know are tearing up our bodies. I've got some peppermint oil on me while I was looking and reading that. So these are 3 ways you can use it: aromatic, topically, and internal. So lots of times when I have classes, I like to, help people really think about what do you have going on in your life. And so one thing you can do, you're watching this video, just go through and do something fun and just give yourself 1 point for every one of these things that you have experienced. And so remember, we're talking about discomfort and aches and pains. And so we're gonna go through these. Some of them are kind of funny, but that was just to keep people on their toes. Well, the first one is your body sounds like a new glow stick when you get up in the morning. You know how you get a new glow stick and you pop, pop, pop it? Yeah, I've gotten out of bed a few times and I felt like someone was popping me like a new glow stick. Or you've hit 40 and everything hurts. Or you have that old injury that acts up in the cold or rainy weather. You have a traveling pain. So what I mean by traveling pain is, and I had this for a little bit a few years ago, it would be my ankle would hurt, and then the next day it would be my knee, or then it would move to my hip, and then it would go to my back. So one of the things I did do was see a chiropractor for that. And then I also was using my essential oils and my deep blue that we're going to talk about in a minute. And another thing is you have constant inflammation. So there's a little bit of inflammation is healthy for you, but to have it all the time or to where it keeps coming back, that is not healthy for you. And so that's something that can cause other issues. It can, lead to things like arthritis and other ailments that are can weaken your immune system. And so you decided to get back into shape, but you forgot to tell your muscles. And I've done that. I've done that more than once. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get back in shape now. But then the next morning or even 2 days later, my body's like, what were you thinking? Yeah, I know about that. And then your job's repetitive motions have created muscle and joint pain. And so a lot of people that do the same thing over and over again, they can experience something like that. It could be carpal tunnel, or it could be other things, other pains that you have. And like I said, especially in your hands. And so just if you gave yourself a point, add it up and see, how many points did you get, and how could, we help you, or how could things be helped for you by using essential oils. So if you have muscle, joint pain, or stiffness, you're waking up. So some of the things I recommend first for people when they say that they have issues is deep blue rub. So deep blue rub is probably the gateway for a lot of people. I know it was for my husband. For him to even try or take essential oils seriously, the deep blue rub was the thing that really got his attention. And so it comes in a rub, it comes in an oil, and then it comes in something called polyphenol complex. Now the polyphenol complex is an internal capsule that you take, and it's going to have other things in it. It's not necessarily the deep blue oil, but what it does is that it's going to help the body the same way that the deep blue rub or oil does. And so I love it. It has things in it that are pretty powerful, like frankincense and some other polyphenols that are going to help the body alleviate, especially inflammation. And it's going to help deal with some discomfort that you may have. And the deep blue rub is one that is very accessible. A lot of people like to use it. It has, it comes in like a creamy rub form. It's like if you use other things that are on the market that are like creams and rubs, you'll love this because it's going to be non-toxic and really safe for the body. And you can just rub it wherever you want. Now it's going to be tingly. It does have peppermint in it. I like to actually put it on my eczema sometimes if I'm really itchy, because it helps to cool it down. And so I love to use it in different ways. But really, if you joint, muscle issues, I put that on it and it really helps it. I know my sister was telling me yesterday, she's like, oh yeah, she was in a car accident several years ago. I think it was 2008, she was saying, and she had this pain in her knee forever. And then when I started using oils, I introduced her to deep blue rub, and she put that on, and she was amazed that that pain was gone. It stopped. It helped with the swelling and everything else she had. So yes, I definitely recommend, if you want to try this, let your oil person know, and we can get you a sample. If you just want to dive right in and get you a bottle, we can help you with that too. So I always question people, what does your medicine cabinet look like? And so traditionally, even before I started using oils, my medicine cabinet pretty much looked like the one on the left. Lots of those things in there we had in our home. And most of those things, pretty much all of them, we got rid of. Maybe the alcohol and the hydrogen peroxide we still have, but everything else, oh, that pink stuff, calamine lotion, that's all gone. And the other pink stuff. And ours looks more like this. It's really more of a drawer now of things that we have, or a basket. And the beauty of it is when you switch over to using plant medicine, you're taking control of the situation, you're taking control of your own health, but then you don't require as many things, because a lot of the things are going to overlap and help with lots of things. So if you have lavender and tea tree in there, the lavender is going to help for lots of different things. It can actually help for muscle and joint discomfort as well. But then you have tea tree in there and you have peppermint. So you're going to have some oils that are going to be able to help with lots of different issues, whereas you may have had 5 things to help with 5 different things that were over the counter. You could have tea tree that can help with all of them. So that's what you see is the requirement is for much fewer things, but it's going to be much more effective, and the effects are going to be long-term. So we're going to go through some things so that you can really understand, what can I switch to? And so if you're taking things like the ones you see on the left that are going to be for some pain. I know in my house, we were really using lots of Motrin. My husband really would use lots of Motrin. And so I think we even had a bottle of Bengay for a while, had kind of threw out. Another thing is that those things on the left are going to expire. And so you're going to have all these different things that they're going to expire before you use them all. And then you have to go rebuy them. Whereas the oils don't expire. There are expiration dates on the bottom because we have to put an expiration date on there, but the expiration date's going to be like, I think 3, 4, 5 years. And so, yeah, they're not going to expire and you're going to use them up because you're going to see the effects of them. And so I would say, change these, try the deep blue line. I recommend starting with the rub and the polyphenol complex. I think those are probably the two that I turn to the most. Those are the two that I would say start, attack it from the outside and then attack it from the inside and see if you can get some relief. If you're taking or using these as well for your muscle issues, I would say try using peppermint. Peppermint is awesome because it gives this cooling effect to your body. I use it for a number of things. It is great in terms of for headaches as well. We rub it on your temples. It's great for just bringing the body temperature down as well. So I love peppermint. It comes in a roller or a bottle. I will say though, test it and see. When I was reading the bottle, I got a little bit around my eye and it is strong. So I had to dilute that with some fractionated coconut oil, but yes, it is awesome and it's going to help. And so, like I said, I like that cooling effect, especially like I have a lot of skin issues that I deal with, and I put the peppermint on it and it stops a lot of the itchiness. It stops, because that's an aggravation. It can lead to some pain as well. But then also I use it internally as well to help with maybe some internal stomach aches and pains you may have. And so it's a very effective oil as well. Again, if you're talking about people that suffer from migraines, I don't get a lot of migraines. Occasionally I do, but I do know people that suffer from them a lot. And you may have been taking things like this, like Excedrin migraine or Excedrin head tension. Try past tense. Now, past tense is going to be one of those oils which is going to do what it says. It's going to put that tension in the past. And so, but what's really effective about past tense, it's recommended for physical, but also for emotional discomfort. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about emotional pain, but it's going to help with both. And so it's in an oil form. You can make a roller with it. Now, past tense is not one that you use internally, but you can put it on topically and you can diffuse it. And so these are some other additional support members that you can turn to. Frankincense is on there because frankincense is going to help with everything. And so lots of times you can add frankincense to what you're using to deal with pain and discomfort to intensify the effects. So what do I mean by that? So if you take your deep blue rub, so say you have like a sore arm, you take your deep blue rub and you rub it on your arm. And then after about 10 or 20 seconds, take a drop of frankincense and rub it on top of that. That frankincense is going to drive that deep blue and intensify the effects of it even more. Or you can use frankincense by itself. I do both. Turmeric, we all know the effects on how effective turmeric is. You can use that, especially for inflammation, which causes the culprit for a lot of people's discomforts. But the turmeric that we have is going to be in dual chamber capsules, which means it's going to have the oil and the herb in it together. And so research has found that using the oil and the herb together is going to be the most effective way to get the most benefits from using turmeric. And I actually take those every day to help with inflammation in my body. Lavender is another one that's really good to help if you're having issues, because lavender is a natural antihistamine, plus it's something that will naturally calm the body down. So most people think of lavender for helping with sleep. Well, and that's true, but the reason it's helping with sleep is because it's helping to calm the body down. So what you can do with the lavender is, before you apply anything else, is apply the lavender first. And so it's going to take your body out of that fight or flight state where it feels it's all worked up, and it's going to calm the body down. And once you apply the lavender, then you can apply what you're going to apply for pain. So it could be the deep blue, it could be the frankincense, or any of the things we have on here. Lemongrass is one of my all-time favorites, and it's also another one that I said, I'm not going to talk about emotional pain, but it's also one that I use. And when I use it physically and I diffuse it, I typically feel like it lifts weight. Like if I feel heavy or bogged down or anxious, I can feel it helping with lifting that anxiety as well. So it's one that I use for both too. And then copaiba or copaiba, however you pronounce it, is really awesome with helping with all over health as well. It's really good for the circulatory system. And so I like it for that, but I like to put it on my joints in my hand. And I tend to get a lot of relief for using it that way. And then Aroma Touch is our massage blend. So obviously it's going to be a really effective oil. It's blended. So it has different oils in it that has been created to help to get really good response in your deep tissue and for your muscles. So these are just some more options in addition to the deep blue and the past tense and the peppermint that you can turn to try. So why do I show you so many different oils? Am I trying to confuse you? Absolutely not. The reason why we show you a number of different options is because what works well for one may be a different combination or a different oil for someone else. And so I want you to get comfortable with and familiar with, okay, so this kind of helps with it, but if you want to kick it up a notch, or if you want to get a little more relief, I want you to be aware of the different things that you can add to it and try. So the goal is to figure out what works best for you. And this is exactly what they do when you go to the doctor's office. You know, if you try one medication and it doesn't necessarily work, they're like, okay, try this, let me know. And if it doesn't work, come back and we'll try something else. The exact same thing, but I'm telling you up front what we can go to next. So 4 types of headaches, because that's what a lot of people suffer from and they want to turn to. There's sinus headaches, which pain is usually behind the forehead and or the cheekbones. And what I would recommend for a pain like that is peppermint. Start with the peppermint oil and put it, like I said, on your temples or rub it across the front of your top of your forehead. Be very careful because peppermint is one that's really going to open you up. So it may cause your eyes to water. Don't use too much, and definitely dilute it with the carrier oil. There's also a cluster headache, which is going to be typically behind one eye. We say try the frankincense. You can use it and again, put it on your temples, take it internally. That can help as well. Tension headaches or pain that is like a hand is squeezing your head. That sounds absolutely awful, but past tense is one a lot of people turn to help with that. And again, you can rub it on your temples. Other place that you can put things are going to be on the back of your neck or the base of your neck or on the bottoms of your feet. And then migraines. And so it usually comes with pain, nausea, visual changes, or are typical classic of this form. And so I know a lot of people that they're very sensitive to light as well. And so you might try the deep blue with that. That's going to be one. I know a friend of mine, she uses deep blue, and I believe she adds frankincense or past tense to it. So she's figured out what helps with her migraines. And so these are starting points for you to try and see what can help with the different types of head tension you might be experiencing. Now, we've been talking mostly about oils, but I want to also talk to you about our LLV, or our Lifelong Vitality Pack. And you're saying, why? I'm probably thinking why. Well, because using the Lifelong Vitality is going to increase the effectiveness of the oils. And so, believe it or not, the Lifelong Vitality, which you see here, are these 3 bottles, but this is our #1 selling product. And it's our #1 selling product because it works. And so it has, from left to right, it has alpha CRS, which is going to help with cellular vitality. It's going to help keep your cells fed and strong. It's also, I think of CRS, I remember you can't remember stuff. It's going to help a lot with that mental fog. And so when I take these, like I'm supposed to regularly, I realize like I am focused and I am functioning and I'm remembering things. Whereas I was starting to realize or notice as I was aging that I wasn't, as sharp as I was, but I feel much sharper when I'm using my LLV. The one in the middle is going to be our omegas, and it's going to have the proper amount of megas that we need to take. It is a supplement. There is a vegan form that is going to be non-fish, and that's the one that I take. And the last one is going to be our Microplex VMZ, and you see the V and M, think of vitamins and minerals. And so that's going to be the one that's going to have our vitamins and minerals in it. What is super awesome about this set is that it is designed to plug in holes that exist in our standard American diet, which, you know, stands for SAD. And so the reason why it's so effective is because it's giving your body nutrients that it needs that we're not typically getting in the way that we eat now. And so you start with the LOV, a lot of people do, and they get the results that they want, and it helps the body deal with things that is that's causing the discomfort or the pain. And sometimes that's all they use, but sometimes if you need more, you add in your LOV and then you add your other stuff. And at some point you may not need any of it at all because your body can help take care of what's going on. So always think about starting with LOV. And so I just have a couple of examples here. And remember at the beginning, we talked about cost per drop. And so there's a couple recipes that you can make yourself with oils and take. And so one is called the essential oil Tylenol in quotes. And so in a veggie cap, so you can get veggie caps from doTERRA, but you can get them from any health food store as well. I think I've gotten them at Sprouts before. But take a veggie cap and open it up, and you can put 3 drops of vetiver, 3 drops of marjoram, and 3 drops of lemon. And you can take 2 capsules every 4 hours, and that is going to help give you some relief. And that right there costs 72 cents. It may be that you get relief after taking it, a couple of times and you feel fine. You've only spent 72 cents those 2 times. The other one, and I have used this one, is called the morphine shot. And so you take your veggie cap again and you take 6 drops of marjoram or 6 drops of oregano, and you add six drops of frankincense. And so for many, this is an instant relief to ailments. It's recommended that you use 1 pill every 6 to 8 hours. And that 1 pill only costs $1.68. For both of these, if you don't have capsules, you can put it in like a shot glass with water and take it, or put it in a full glass with water and take it. That works well too. But some of these oils you may not like the taste, especially the oregano, because oregano is going to be one of our hot and spicy oils, and so is marjoram. So you might prefer it in the capsule, but I have, friends and family that put it in water and they take it. I've actually done it myself too. So what happens is you figure out what's your most comfortable and best way to take the oils. If you prefer capsules, then use capsules. If you like putting it in water and taking it, then do that. I personally put most of the oils directly under my tongue, and I take them that way, and I chase it with water. I like to take them sublingual. So you figure out what works for you, and that's the beauty of using natural solutions. Other thing I highly recommend is doing a cleanse quarterly. doTERRA does have a quarterly cleanse, and it's going to consist of using probiotics, which is our PB Assist. It also includes using enzymes, which is our Terrazyme. It includes Zendocrine, which is going to help detox your major filtering organs like your liver and your kidneys, your pancreas, your lungs, your skin. And then there's also a GX Assist product. And what that product is that it helps to clear out the gut. And then you add in the probiotics to help to replenish and get in healthy gut flora. So there's a whole schedule on how you take things or what you take on different days. I'm not going to go over that. I just want you to be aware that it's highly recommended that you do some type of cleanse at least once a quarter. I do juice cleansing and this together, and I do them a little more frequently, but you just need to think about that. If you've never done a cleanse, or you need to think about doing that. There's probably some things to get rid of, and it may help with some of your discomfort as well. So managing pain. So I thought, well, let's give you an idea of a daily protocol. This is a goal. It's not, everybody may not start off with doing all of this at once, but this is, to think about where you could start to try to work to. And so Lifelong Vitality Pack, or the LOV, that is absolutely a foundation that you can lay first. That's going to help with any ailment that you're dealing with, whether it's pain, whether it's anything else. It's going to help because it's going to fill in, remember, those nutritional holes that we have. And so what you would take is 2 of each. Remember, we saw those bottles. So you could take 2 pills out of each bottle twice a day. And so it's recommended to take it at breakfast and lunch. I personally have taken a full dose, all like 4 of each one right before bed. And that doesn't work out so well for me because I was full of energy, wide awake, bouncing off the walls till about 2 or 3 in the morning. So taking it at breakfast and lunch. You're not ready to take a full dose when you first get them. I understand, and I really recommend that you start maybe taking 1 of each and build up to the full dose. What happens, like I said, because everybody's different, is that you may discover, okay, taking a half a dose each day gives me the results that I want, and that's fine. That's what I do actually. I started with 1 of each a day and I went up to 2, and then I tried 3, and I was like, I was happy with taking, the half a dose each day and twice a day. Other thing you might want to add is copaiba. Copaiba does come in a soft gel, or you can take it in the oils, and you can take it with your meals, or you can rub it on places that you have discomfort. I would recommend taking the deep blue polyphenol complex. So you could take 1 to 3 a day with meals. Put 2 drops of frankincense under your tongue daily, chase with water, and that's recommended actually for anything. So frankincense is like a little scrub brush. It's going to go through the body and it's going to help try to clean up and get rid of dead cells, trying to help oxygenate the body as well. And so just getting in the habit of taking 2 drops under the tongue daily is a great habit to get into. You can also add the turmeric capsules. You take 1 of those per day in the morning. I actually take mine in the evening, my turmeric, but whatever you can get it in, that's great because it's going to help with inflammation. DDR prime we didn't talk about, but it is actually an oil that is good to help with the cellular level. It helps with DNA repair. And so if you have the oil, you can roll it on the bottoms of your feet in the evening, in the morning, or you can take the capsules as well. And then deep blue rub, I just have it in the bathroom. We probably have 1 or 2 bottles because someone's always looking for it. And so you just use it as needed. So if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, my back's a little stiff or sore, I'll add some deep blue rub to it and do some of my stretches. And I'm pretty much good to go. And if you need to apply it again, then apply it again. It isn't, I don't want people to think, okay, I'm going to get, it's going to get, I can't use but it once a day. Oils aren't like that. Oils aren't like prescription. You're not going to hold on to lots of toxins and chemicals and synthetic things when you're using it. Your body knows what to do with the plants and the oils, and it's going to take what it needs and it's going to metabolize the rest off. So I want you to feel safe and secure and confident when you use them. So which is better? So this gets to the point and we're saying, okay, Joy, you've told me about all this awesome stuff. And so now I want to tell you, how do you get them? So the way that doTERRA works is that you establish a wholesale account. So it's the same as if you go to walk into Costco or Sam's and they're like, okay, we need to see your card or you need to get an account. Same thing, you establish a wholesale account with doTERRA. It's typically $35 to get a wholesale account for the whole year. Not a big deal, right? And so once you do that, then you can go to your own doTERRA store at doTERRA.com and you can buy anything you want for 25% off for the whole year. Awesome, right? And even that renewal, it's the renewal, they give you something free. They give you free peppermint. It's only $25. I think that's an awesome deal right there. But if you want to get started with a starter kit, which they've put together different bundles for you to get you started, that wholesale account is free and it comes with the starter kit. So what I have pictured here are a couple of starter kits. And so one, if you really are serious and want to jump in and get started and make some changes, I would say start with and get all access. You're going to get the deep blue rub, you're going to get the LLV, you're going to get the enzymes, the probiotics, the endocrine that's going to help with detoxifying your major organs. And you're going to get a bunch of the oils we talked about, frankincense being one, lemon, on guard, lavender, and balance. All of these things are going to help with your pain management. That is an awesome bundle to start with. It's $219.50 and you're going to get product points. Don't worry too much about what the product points mean right now. Just know that when you, everything that you buy has a point value to it, and that when you regularly purchase, you're going to be earning points to get free stuff. Now that is something different. You don't get that kind of awesomeness when you have a wholesale account at Sam's and Costco. So I think this is even better. But you're like, but Joy, I can't do that much right now. That's fine. So let's keep it simple, and you can get another bundle and get started with the Deep Blue Rub, Lemon, On Guard, Serenity, and Copaiba. And so all these things also are great oils to get started with. You get started, you get your account, it comes free. Your wholesale account comes free with this bundle as well, and then you build up as the months go on, and you build up for the things that you need. So if you are thinking, how do I order these oils, you decide what's best for you and your family. So remember, you're thinking about the things that you may need, but think about what's going on in your household and other things that need to be supported and need to be helped. And then we can get started with that. Talk to your oil person today. Whoever referred you to this, whoever sent you this video, go back to them and ask them, hey, I want to get some of these oils. I want to get started. How do I do that? Or you can always contact me. You can always message me at that number that you see that I'm about to tell you that we have weekly drawings with. And so that's 346-415-6714. And so for today's class, just text who invited you to the class or who sent you the video if you're watching the recording. And so every week we have a drawing on our Facebook page. And so now if you're on our Facebook page and you're already entering the drawing, which is just by participating, coming to class gives you an extra entry, and all you have to do is text who invited you to the class or sent you the thing. And so I have listed here the number of ladies that are on the team with me. So if one of them invited you or sent you the recording, then put them in the text message to 346-415-6714. See, that's painless. It really is. We're really here to help you make some changes in your life and to have just a better quality of life. As I promised, though, there is a fast action bonus. So from now to the next 3 days after this class, if someone wants to get started and get their bundle, their starter kit bundle, and they get their wholesale account, I'm going to throw in some freebies that I'm going to send to you. And the reason I send you and I pick these particular freebies is because it's going to help you get closer and more used to using your oils, especially if you're using them for pain. You're going to want to have rollers. And so these roller bottles are going to allow you to make your own blends, or you can put oils into here and have them in a roller bottle form, which are going to be really easy to use and to roll on the bottoms of your feet or the places where you may be having discomfort. And so I'm also sending the fractionated coconut oil because when you make the rollers, you really only need a maximum of 20, maybe 30 drops of the oil. And the rest of the bottle, you're going to fill with what we call a carrier oil. And so that's why I want to give you those two free to get you off and running and started right. The class schedule, I always go over the class schedule. We are on, this class was taped for May 8th. And so that means we have about 6 or 7 more weeks of this schedule that we're on and the different topics that we're teaching. So next week we'll be talking about sleep, and then stress, then immune health, respiratory, and allergies, and then we'll start over in June. We'll go through nutrition, digestive, and pain again. And so I always recommend, if you want to request a sample, you can request a sample of any that goes with any of these topics, and they're always free. The samples are always free from us. And so if you want a sample, say for sleep or stress or the immune health, go to the Linktree link that you see listed there, and you will see a spot where you click, request sample. Click on that, fill out the form, and we will send you a sample in the mail. Like I said, it's free. The other thing that I always encourage people is host a class and earn free product. Refer people, bring them to one of the classes or send them to one of the classes. So typically when we host a class, we try to figure out a time and date that works for everybody, and then you invite people. But I say, let's keep it simple. We already have these classes on the books. We're already going to do these classes anyway. Just invite people to these classes, you come to that, and that can count as your class, and you can get credit for whenever someone else gets started with oils and gets their bundle going. Sorry, I'm all, that peppermint's making me drain. Okay. Sorry, see, it works fast. So you host and earn free products when you help other people get started. And the other last thing we're gonna talk about real quick is that you can learn about oils and then you can earn extra income. And so how does that work? Well, there are three kinds of people in doTERRA. There are people that buy the product and simply use the product and they use their oils. I love, love, love everyone who uses their oils regularly and they get used to them and it becomes part of their lifestyle. That's what the majority of people are, and we love our oil users. But then there are also people who love the oil so much that they can't help telling other people about them. They can't help sharing the oils with other people and wanting them to get having and develop their own oily lifestyle as well. My aunt is one of those. She is a raving fan. I had no idea until people started coming and telling me, well, your auntie told me about the oils and I wanted to learn more. She is a huge sharer. And so she falls in the category of share, and she tends to give a little bit of income, but she also she gets a lot of free product because she shares oils with others. And then there are some that are so committed and so in love with the oils that they have committed to teaching others. And that's the category that I and other ladies on my team fall into, that we teach others how to use essential oils, and we get an income from that. And so you can get an income that just supplements your current income. And so you can do it to where you get a little bit of extra to pay for maybe a couple extra bills, or you have some things that have come up that you want to take care of. I remember the one time when I had a check that was big enough to pay for all 4 tires, new tires on my car. It felt pretty good. But my goal is actually to replace income, is to be a replacement for my outside jobs or my 9-to-5 jobs with just doing doTERRA full time. So that's my goal. And so if anybody ever wants to hear about any of these ways, I am more than happy to talk to you. There's no obligation to do anything, because if people want to learn and they want to share, they want to teach or want to learn, get extra income, I want to help you. And there's no obligation. I don't, try to make everybody do that. No, what I really want people to do is to use oils and have a healthier lifestyle. So you share teach, this just gives you an idea of average incomes at the different levels that you have. And so, like I said, my goal is to replace income. And so most people, the goal is to get to diamond. And that's really what, the brass ring is for me right now. So the goal is to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That is an awesome quote by Arthur Ashe, and that's true. And that applies to oils, but it applies to almost anything in life. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the person who shared this with you. If it was me, please, by all means, contact me with any questions you have. If you're ready to get started and want to get your own oils in your home or your own wholesale account, I can definitely help you with that. I can send you a link and you can get started that way. Or if you just have questions or want samples, please, please, please ask the questions. That's the only way we can help, is if we know how to help you. I hope everyone has an amazing day. And I hope very soon that you learn how to be even more oil-mazing.